Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the video lecture series of Control System Engineering, module number 3. Again, introduction to PID controller, part 2. Okay, so in my previous video lecture, I have covered the topic of P controller, I controller. Okay, that is proportional integration, derivation, and now this is all combination of PID controller, which we will include in part 2. Okay, this module number 3 is all about the time response analysis. Now here in time response analysis we will see something called as a PID controller. Okay, now what is actually the PID controller? Here is this PID controller. It is a type of a controller, or you can say simply called as a control system. Okay, now we are much familiar with what is control system. Okay, what is the controller part? Okay, and based on that basic fundamentals of control system engineering, we will apply here in this type of controller. Okay, and we have seen in the module number 2 regarding diagram reduction techniques and tools and signal flow graph. Okay, similarly here we will apply that knowledge whatever we have learned in module 2 in this PID controller. Okay, now basically what is this PID controller? Here is, it is a combination of your integral and the derivative. Okay, you can see the three letter word P, I and D. Okay, I cannot construct a controller which is only integral, neither I can construct a controller which is only derivative. So therefore I should go along, I should go together with a proportional constant, proportional. Okay, just like 1 plus 1. Okay, so therefore it is a combination of proportional integral, and proportional integral is one part and the other part is nothing but proportional derivative. Okay, so they are two different concepts. Okay, which so integral I will be including the integral part, and when I take the derivative then I will go with the derivative part. Okay, but now this, the third type of controller here is, it's a PID controller, which is nothing but I will be including all three, that is proportional, the integral and the derivative. Okay, so therefore if we see only the PD, which is nothing but the proportional derivative, it improves the transient response. Okay, we know that the module number 3, in module number 3 we are focusing on the time response analysis. Okay, so in time response analysis we have seen what is the transient response and what is the steady state response. Okay, the transient response is something where if when you apply the input to the system, it will start increasing and then it will reach to its maximum point. Okay, and once it reaches to its peak or the saturation point, okay, and then it will just fall down. The period of that period where it goes below the level, or when it reaches to the zero level or the ground level, then we call it as the steady state response. Okay, so therefore together here transient and the steady state responses are studied. But along with the steady state transient and steady state responses, we have also seen something called a steady state error. Okay, so we will not go in that direction. Now we see what type of controller is used here. Okay, so this PID controller, it is another type of controller which makes use of both the transient and the steady state responses. Okay, now if you want to increase the transient responses, you should go for PD. If you want to increase the steady state, then you should go for PI. Okay, but a system has both the transient response and the steady state response. So therefore if any control system or if any plant, okay, if you want to increase both the steady state response as well as the transient responses, then you should go for the combination of PID controller, which is called as proportional integral plus derivative constant. That is the combination of two. This can be used together to improve the overall time response of the system. Okay, which is shown here, where I have one plant. Here you can see there is one plant and the controller input is R of S, output is C of S, and this particular section you can see this is the combination of the transient response and the steady state response. This complete diagram, this complete blocks, three blocks what you see here, they will improve your responses, or they will improve your performance. Okay, so therefore here now we will go for how the controller can be designed or how the controller can be made into a practice. Okay, and also what will be the feedback factor or how the feedback factor will be. Okay, so now here the rate feedback controller is nothing but output derivative control. Okay, and how you can achieve this output derivative controller? Okay, because here are two sections. One is the integral, another is the derivative. Okay, so first we will see about the derivative controller. Okay, and if you want to increase the derivative controller, always remember that this derivative controller is used to improve your transient response. Okay, and how this can be achieved? This can be achieved by feeding back the derivative of the output signal internally using a tacho generator and comparing with the signal proportional to error. Okay, this is how, which is known as minor loop feedback compensation. Okay, here you can see, okay, there is one plant. Okay, there is s multiplied by td, and this is ki divided by l, and this is my constant k. Okay, and if I want to increase the derivative controller transient response, then I will be making use of some internally signal generation, signal internally, some kind of derivative, some kind of feedback mechanism. Okay, or taking the output from the system and applying it to the input or the derivative input. Okay, by how this can be made is nothing but by making use of tacho generator. Okay, and also comparing with the signal proportional error. Okay, so if I use this, then this mechanism of comparing your signal along with the tacho generator, okay, is called as minor loop feedback compensation. And the output of the controller is given by the formula k multiplied by et. Okay, because here we may have et signal, which is called as an error signal, will be always this after the summing point. Okay, so k multiplied by et minus, we can see this minus kt multiplied by d of c of t divided by dt, because this c of t is nothing but your output. Once you take the in time domain, c of s becomes c of t and c of t becomes c of s. That is vice versa by after applying the Laplace transform and inverse Laplace transform. So therefore the derivative of this output, okay, multiplied by the constant kt, if you subtract with your error signal et, where k is multiplied here at this particular point, then you will find the output of the controller. Okay, and the output of the controller is simply nothing but, if you take the Laplace transform for this particular equation, k will be constant as it is, e of t becomes e of s, minus will be as it is, okay, kt, okay, multiplied by d by dt, because all whenever there is a derivative, okay, we take it as s, single s. Okay, so therefore s kt will be a constant. Okay, so d by dt of c of t is nothing but s multiplied by c of s. Okay, for this particular output, which is in terms of time domain. So once you convert into the Laplace domain, you will get this particular equation. Okay, and how this can be realized, okay, how this can be made into converted into the block diagram. Okay, so here you can see this is r of s is as it is. Okay, there is a feedback, you can see this feedback and this feedback is almost same, right? Both the feedbacks are same. Now what about the plant control? And always remember, the equation for the plant control will be always same, which is given by omega n square divided by s multiplied by s plus 2 neta into omega n. This will not be changed, this will be fixed. Okay, and what about the other part here? So this is my e of s, you can see this is e of s multiplied by k. So that is why the reason here k is written. We know the principal rule of block diagram, that if two blocks are in series, they should be multiplied. So therefore k into e of s, we will get this particular equation, minus, okay, s into kt multiplied by c of s. This is what s into kt. This is the feedback loop. Okay, so this feedback loop is whatever the output we have here at this point, it is taken through s multiplied by kt and it is applied to another summing point. Okay, so what should be the output of this block? If I make into the series connection, here c of s is applied, So C of S into Ks multiplied by Kt is applied to one summing point. Okay, and what is the output of this particular block? K is multiplied by Es. So therefore K into Es. If you subtract both, okay, if you subtract both these two equations here, okay, then we will get this particular equation at this point here. Okay, so that is K into Es minus, okay, this minus S into Kt into C of S. So this is the output of the controller. Okay, so and what about this? This is nothing but my transfer function G of S, my transfer function G of S here. Okay, so in this way we go for finding the output of the controller. Okay, now once you obtain the output of the controller, okay, now you can simply find the value of K. Okay, that is nothing but what should be the value of K, so that the controller becomes stable, such that the system becomes stable. Okay, so therefore you want to go for finding such type of the output here. Okay, then what we will do is, here we will assume that the value of K is equal to 1. Okay, just substitute the value of K is equal to 1. So assume that K is equal to 1. Then let us study the effects. What will be the effect on the same system? Okay, so what will be the effect on the same system? So what we will do here is, if I put K is equal to 1 at this particular point, okay, because as this omega n square is nothing but my G of S. Okay, so this is my G of S. Letter is this particular block here is G of S. I will write. Okay, so this G of S is nothing but omega n square multiplied by divided by S into S plus 2 into omega n square. Okay, so in this way we get the value of G of S. Okay, now similarly, based on that, you can simply find the overall transfer function of this particular block diagram, that is C of S divided by R of S. Because if you look at this particular block diagrams, okay, here I can minimize the block diagrams by applying some rules. Okay, now this is one particular small minor loop. Okay, this is my very small minor loop. If you look at this particular figure from this much, one block of G, one block of H, one summing point and one takeoff point, this all together will make my one minor loop. Okay, so therefore here you can see, and how to reduce the minor loop, that is transfer function is equal to G of S divided by 1 plus G of S into H of S. This is the standard formula which we have used all the time, right? The transfer function is equal to G of S divided by 1 plus G of S, okay, multiplied by H of S. This is the formula for the standard transfer function. This we already know how to find the transfer function, right? So that is what they have done here at this particular block diagram. Okay, once they reduce here, you can see the block diagram here. You can see, just see this block diagram. This is my G of S, this is my H of S, one summing point and one takeoff point. So what is, if you substitute these two values in this formula, then you can find the transfer function for this particular minor loop. This is my G of S, this is my H of S. So what is G of S? Omega n square divided by this particular value, okay, divided by 1 plus again this whole values multiplied by S into Kt. If you do that, you can just see here. So this is my G of S divided by 1 plus again this is G of S, you can see here, right, multiplied by H of S. Now go for simplification. Okay, so how to simplify? One is this, the whole term here in the denominator will be multiplied by this one. Okay, this just your normal way of multiplication. Okay, this particular term will be multiplied here. Okay, then this remains as it is. So therefore after simplifying, this value and this value will get cancelled out. So what remains is omega n square, okay, whole divided by this value is nothing but S plus 2 omega n square, okay, multiplied plus omega n square multiplied by skt. Okay, because there is a term called s is here and there is one more s here, so therefore they have taken completely s outside. Okay, so even if you simply substitute the values also, you will get the solutions. Okay, this is just like this, putting a bracket here. Okay, so s plus 2 into omega neta n omega n plus, only the thing is you should write s here. So but they have taken the s common term as a common term, so therefore you can take it outside the bracket also, you can see here. Okay, so this is my simplified answer for only g of s. I'm telling only g of s. Only g of s is nothing but the value which is before the system diagram here, or the block diagram, this value. So once I solve this value here, okay, this summing points goes. What remains is only the value of k. Okay, so that is the reason. So after more simplification, that is how to find the overall the transfer function here is, you can see here. Okay, so r of s, this is c of s. So c of s divided by r of s, this whole complete will be removed. Okay, instead of this particular block diagram, we will put this answer. Which answer? This simplified answer. We will enter it into the simplified answer. This is my new block. This is my new block diagram. Okay, or new block, or simply you can call the simplified. So that particular block I will just keep here, which will be multiplied with k. Okay, which will be multiplied with the k, in the sense it will become now k multiplied by omega n square. Okay, k multiplied by omega n square. Okay, and moreover, okay, as there is a loop, you can see there is a loop which is equal to 1. Again we will apply the formula of transfer function. Okay, so once you apply the formula for the given transfer function here, okay, the overall transfer function is given by omega n square divided by, this becomes s square. Okay, 2 s square plus s multiplied by 2 omega n, okay, plus kt into omega n square plus omega n. Why this again omega n square is because of the transfer function which we apply to the whole complete block diagram. Okay, once you do this, once you obtain the formula, that is c of s divided by r of s here, okay, now you can simply go for finding the or comparing the denominator terms. Okay, how to compare the denominator terms here is, there is no change, okay, in the value of omega n, in the sense whatever the omega value of n is there here, it has not changed with respect to the order or with respect to the coefficient. So therefore comparing the denominator, it is clear that there is no change in the value of omega n. Okay, so therefore this omega dash into 2 into neta dash into omega n is equal to 2 neta into omega n plus kt into omega n square, this particular value here. Okay, because this value is nothing but your denominator term. You can see in the denominator term here, this value is I've written here, and this complete value is being compared with the standard value, which is given by 2 neta dash into omega n. You need to just compare these two values. So once you compare these two particular values here, okay, then you can say that this is my new damping factor denoted by neta dash. Okay, and what was the old damping factor? It is only neta. Okay, so therefore the formula now get changed to, you just find the value of neta dash. So what you should do, you should divide this particular value here, the whole value should be divided by this 2 omega n, like this. This is 2 into omega multiplied by n. Okay, so this 2, this omega n will be cancelled out with this. So what remains? Only eta, so which is here, plus will be as it is. So kt into omega n square divided by 2 omega n, divided by 2 omega n. So 1 omega n square with, and this omega n will goes down. So what remains again here is kt into omega n, okay, divided by this particular 2. So therefore the new damping factor, okay, is given by damping factor plus kt into omega n divided by 2. Okay, so in this way we find the new value of damping factor. Only the thing is we are mixing the two values. The two values are nothing but one is your differential proportional and another is nothing but your integral proportion. Okay, so based on that integral proportion and the derivative proportional, okay, there can be improvement. Okay, it is not like there will be always improvement. There can be some improvement in the damping ratio, okay, in the transient responses. We are only speaking now about the transient response. Okay, transient response is nothing but which is with respect to the derivative part, not integral part. Okay, so if you want to increase the damping factor for a derivative part, okay, then you can simply go on increasing the values of the new damping factor using this particular formula. And if you get this formula, now you can simply increase the transient responses for this particular three values, which is called as kp, kv and kv and ka sometimes, but here we have two values only, that is kp and kv, which is nothing but position constant and the velocity constant. Okay, so the position constant is given by the first constant, right? It was the first constant, therefore limit s tends to 0, g of s into h of s, it becomes infinity. Now similarly, when you take it to the velocity constant, so limit s tends to 0, we just simply multiply s with the above formula, so s into g of s into h of s, okay, which is equal to, again, because what is g of s here? G of s is this formula, omega n square divided by this formula, here you can see, which is written here. Okay, so what is h of s? H of s is equal to 1. Why h of s is equal to 1? Because there is no value here. You can see a straight line is being drawn from c of s to this summing point. So therefore the value of h of s is equal to 1. So therefore I will not be considering h of s in the denominator in this formula, and just simply add a single s both in the numerator and single s in the numerator. This s and this s may get, they will get cancel out each other. Okay, now you can apply the limit. Okay, so if you apply the limit s tends to 0, okay, so what remains is wherever there is s, put it 0. So only the left term here is omega n. Okay, though we have one more omega n square is here. Okay, so therefore putting the value of s will completely change the denominator value. So therefore the new value of kv is equal to omega n divided by 2 neta. Okay, this omega n square and omega n square get cancel out each other. One omega n will get cancel out each other. So therefore this s, it becomes, if I multiply these two, it becomes s square, right? So and that s square becomes 0. So what remains here is 2 neta omega n plus, okay, plus kt into omega n square. There is the another method for this particular solution. Okay, so how to go for that particular solution here is simply what we can do here is you can just cancel out this s and s will get cancel out. I will just show you here. This s and this s will get cancelled out each other. Okay, now what we can do is we can take the omega n outside the bracket. Okay, just take omega n outside the bracket. So it is just like omega n square. I will write like this. Okay, so divided by, so what is left here? So s plus, I will take the, in the denominator, let us take omega n as the constant part, or okay, so it is just like the bracket. So what is left out here is even we can do like this also. This completely gets 0. Fine, we'll go with this only. So anyways, will not derive that particular formula. So the answer which is left out when you apply this limits to this particular formula, okay, the only value left here is omega n divided by 2 eta plus kt into omega n square. Okay, so based on the value of kt, whether it is a positive or whether it is a negative, okay, here we can see there is a key point here that as kt is positive, okay, kv decreases. Okay, if this is positive, the value of kv will get decreases, and your steady state error is directly proportional to 1 by kv. Okay, so that is nothing but your steady state error increases. Okay, if you want to increase the steady state error, you should decrease the value of kv. That is what they are saying. And how the value of kv can be decreased? By making the value of kt as positive. Okay, so with this I will end up this pdi controllers, okay, here itself. Thank